Here we go. I think I am finally live. Hello everyone, welcome to my playground once again. Those of you who are returning, greetings, hello. Welcome back. I'm playing Bless online again. You can see I have leveled up just a little bit more. I know that I mentioned playing my cleric, which is her. She is in fact high enough to go into the dungeon, although I have in fact been playing the ranger, who's a little bit higher, and she is right outside that first dungeon. And she in fact has the scorpion that we were talking about last night, so unless any of you chime in right now and say, no, Neith, we want the paladin, I am going to log into Cassandra and show you the ranger in the dungeon and show off the scorpion mount, which, you know, I was trying to get for you last week. She's got some dungeon points, some adventure points, so I can also, with her, show you some of those vendors so we can look at some of those items, although the usual caveat of who knows if that will be the same in the North American version does come into play. Whoa. Whoops. Don't create. Start. All of the announcements on that are still forthcoming. They're being remarkably close-lipped, although they did manage to get their class preview videos back up. It was kind of funny with those. They put them up, they remained up for probably about 12 hours before their YouTube channel disappeared. So for about a week there was just the equivalent of YouTube fuzz with non-existing videos. It was kind of entertaining. They did a big class feature of the paladin, which is my little healer. I was having fun with her. I know I've mentioned a lot, those of you who know me know that I do prefer healing classes, but I sort of gave up on this one because it's tankier. I like the castery healers, so for me in Bless Online that's the Mystic, which is not playable at this moment, and we're not actually going to get the Mystic in the North American version right away either. Sadly, we're not going to get the Assassin right away either. They're launching with very limited classes, which is kind of disappointing. So here I am, here's the dungeon. They are instanced, you can tell because obviously the little glowing gate there. And the first time you go into this dungeon when you're running the quest line, there's a merchant here who sells potions and some of the armors and stuff, so you can stock up before you go in. I have run through that though on the storyline, so that instance vendor is gone, and there is this one here. Check my inventory. Inventory's good. So here we have your field dealer, where you can buy some of the random stuff, and if you're, you know, grinding that dungeon, which I tend to do at this point because I still have not received all of the armor pieces for it. Hopefully you guys will bring me some luck and we'll get some of that today. That would be very nice. But this is where you can buy some basic entry stuff. If you're a rogue, you're going to want these poisons, although that's kind of a silly thing to say since this version isn't going to launch with the rogue right away. This is the consumable item which prevents PvP. I've mentioned that a couple of times, and I know I mentioned it in my article that you can use a consumable to block anyone from attacking you. This is it right here. I don't know where it will be in the North American version. Nobody knows that yet because, as I've said, they've been remarkably close-lipped on all of those sorts of changes, but it exists. Here it is. And more poison for the rogue. The assassin gets multiple different types of poisons that you can choose between. Can stock up on potions. I'm not quite sure what these are. Portable pour shelves. You know, unofficial English translation, so not a whole lot of it makes sense. Anyway, here we are at the first dungeon. I'm a little over-leveled at the moment because I've been trying to get the first gear so that I can move on. But while I'm here, since we talked about it before, I will show you some of the mounts. Here is the wolf. I wish they didn't have this glowing ball. This was kind of new, but here's the wolf. There are multiple different versions of each of the mounts, different colors, so you can kind of hunt around and look for them. Let's see. Here is the scorpion. I spent so much time trying to get this to show you guys last week. I'll show it off right away, right now. Whoops. There we go. To me, this is one of the big draws of this game. All of the lovely, let me get rid of the UI for you. Here you go. All of the lovely, awesome taming you can do. This is just, I wish more games would do this. Like, everything in the game is pretty much tameable, and I think that is just so incredibly awesome. We got some other things. Standard horse. Standard horse. Yeah, don't lean back. I'm terribly sorry, Skylar, but I don't have the Pegasus or the unicorn to show you this week. But I don't think I'm going to manage to get those. I think those are cash shop items. For those of you who are here for the first time, here's a pig. They haven't gone into any cash shop items or what's going to be in the cash shop yet. All they have said is that there will be a way to earn the cash shop currency in the game through normal play. So as far as I'm concerned, that kind of puts most of the pay to win worries to rest, because if you can get those items through play, then they are accessible to anyone. Now, I know there are a lot of people who'll argue with that because you can just spend more money and get more, and to a certain degree that's true, but I'm always happy when I see ways to earn cash up stuff through normal play. Let's see, do I have anything else interesting to show off here? 1,000,000 scorpions for leveling purposes. Oh, I have a cave spider pet I can show you. Here we go, my little spider. Actually, I can keep him out through the... Where'd he go? Did he disappear when I went into first person view? Interesting, he did. I guess he's a part of my character. Anyway, let's go into the dungeon! Now, again, I see that a couple of you have joined in since I've said this. The North American version combat will be different than this. They haven't specified the details of exactly how different it will be, other than to describe it as, quote, rhythmic combo based. Whatever that means, I don't know. I haven't really been able to tell from the videos. The videos just... It's very difficult to determine combat from videos. I mean, combat in Secret World looks interesting in the videos, but it's, we all know that's a little bit lacking. So, anyway, I shall move forward into this dungeon. As you can see, I'm level 19, they're 15. I am over-leveled because I've been trying to run through here to get this gear. So, when I annihilate them, It's not that the dungeon is particularly easy, it's just that I've been doing this over and over again. So I do have more abilities than I had last time, which means I'm showing off a little bit more of the combat. The ranger here has some utility. We have some snares, some traps, ranged DPS, which I'm finding more enjoyable than the tanky healer, as much as it pains me to admit that. I really am a healer and buffer at heart, so it kinda kills me a little bit to be playing DPS classes, but I suppose that's more exciting for you guys to watch. The cleric is very, very tanky, or the paladin is very, very tanky, which is why I'm not playing it. So I'm not really a tanky kind of person. Oh, we got a horse. I mean a doggy. So if you have any questions for you new people who are joining me for the first time today, hello and welcome, and do feel free to have some chat. I do keep an eye on the chat. Due to the lag between Twitch and this game, I don't always respond immediately, but I do keep an eye. And I love, you know, showing people what they want to see, so speak up. Don't be shy. That is a part of what I am here to be doing. I like to show people games that they'll enjoy. Pick up all my gold. I'll run through all of the bosses in this dungeon. It is rather on the easy side because, you know, it's the first story dungeon, so I'm still trying to decide if I think that May 11th will be an announcement of actual information, or if they're going to say, surprise! Buy the game now, you can play! I'm not sure which would be preferable, to be honest. Now if you're running through this the first time, there's a whole bunch of quests that turn in right here. It's instanced. You get a little guy here, some cutscenes. Here's the first sub-boss. I'll be attacking him a little bit. Now, the reason I like the ranger and I don't have as difficult a time as I do on the mage is because the ranger can actually move around while attacking. The mage or wizard, or I think it's called a mage, I don't remember what the particular class is called in this, is stuck. When that casting bar is going on, the mage can't move or their spells get interrupted, and that is a particularly evil type of class for me to play. Let's see, did I get any upgrades? Oh, this does remind me, one thing I can talk about here. You can wear all of the armor types. So you can see that this is for the Guardian, these gloves. The Guardian is the main tank class. So if I wanted, I could put my Ranger into this medium armor gear. And this is for the Paladin, so this is the Healy tanky armor. But when you... Oh, and these are the points you get from running that I would spend in the dungeon vendor, which I'll show you once I get out of here. To get back to the gear anyway. The thing is like all set gear, you can see the equipment bonus As you wear different types of armor, you get the bonus, and you get extra bonuses if you wear your class appropriate armor. So while you can wear all of it, you are incentivized to wear what it is that they want you to wear for your class. Let's see if I've got the buff down here. Yeah, see? So as a ranger, when I'm wearing the full set of light armor, in addition to what's on the armor, I add in plus 2.8% to the probability of avoiding, plus 3% attack power, and I add 10 energy, which is what I use to power my attacks when I'm attacked. As I get more pieces of these sets, or maybe it's not, actually I think that may be types as opposed to the set bonuses, so never mind what I was about to say. Proceed with the killing. Now, for folks who haven't watched me play this before, one thing that's nice for grinding, and you can see it here, is you see the glowing light. This will tell you the type of loot that is on the corpse. So right here, it's green. That means there's a piece of green gear there. This one is just the typical gray, so if I wanted, I could skip it. You often want to do that when grinding, because normally trash loot is really good to get when you're grinding. You can stack it all into one piece and then go and sell it for a nice chunk of cash. But in this game, it only stacks up to 20. So once I get, 20 broken insect legs, it moves to another stack. And then my inventory fills up. And when grinding, you can guess that fills up your inventory very, very quickly. So quite often when I'm just grinding or whatever, I will ignore anything but colored blue or green or gold or whatever. But since I'm just running through this once and then showing off various other things about the game, whatever you guys want to see, whether or not I get that nice ranger blue armor, I'm just going to grab my loot and then go. Another interesting thing about the dungeons while I'm thinking about it, we're not going to see it due to the path I'm taking here to hit all the bosses on my way for you, is there are traps. So the dungeons are more than just run through the corridor. The traps are deadly, they'll kill you. I have yet to figure out, I know that you can disarm them, I've seen people do it, I don't know how to do that. It may be that I can't do it on the ranger, I'm not quite sure. So there is a bit more for me to discover there. Oops, I grabbed a few too many. Yeah, the armor is pretty interesting. If you don't care so much about the full set bonus, you can, mix in a piece or two of other class armor for more defenses or whatever. Makes soloing a little bit easier. Here is the second sub-boss. If I'm lucky, I will hit at some point while wandering around the weird harvesting instance things, and I can show you some of that. It's called the Turban Brothers. I don't quite know how to describe it because I've never seen anything like it in any other game. It's like, oops, I forgot to check if I got an upgrade. Let's see. Paladin, Mage. No. It looks like my poor little ranger is cursed. So, it would be nice to be able to show that, so I will keep an eye out for it. It's this weird little turban, I guess, that you click on, and it takes you into this little super harvesting instance, which is part of the reason why you want to make sure that you're always carrying a lot of the harvesting consumables, so that if you find it while wandering around, you are free to jump in and get all of your harvesting stuff. I'll also show you a little bit about the crafting, if you would like, when I get back into town. I don't quite remember if I discussed the full details of the crafting. I don't think I did in that short little "Is this game for me" piece. If my spider, by the way, were higher level, he would be giving me gear bonus, I mean stat bonuses. They do all sorts of interesting little things. He is not high enough though, so he's just giving me nothing. I'll run in here so you can see the prettiness. Although this is one of the more boring dungeons. There's another quest that deals with this, which I've already done. And here we have the big boss of the dungeon. This, for the first time you go through here, if you're doing the main storyline, which I recommend you do as you go through the game, you'll get a big cutscene here. And you'll see how big a jerk this guy is. But I guess he's a main boss, that's to be expected. Now I'm just going to run in and kill him. And his little dogs too. He likes to summon a lot of the little dogs. And he's got some more. Whoops. The first time I ran through this on my paladin, I was like, oh, I'll just ignore the little ads. Don't do that. There, I leveled. Let's see, did I get any good? I guess I'll put that on. It's for the assassin, and the assassin ranger gear is largely interchangeable. You can see the green stuff I'm wearing is actually for the assassin and the ranger both. But it looks like I'm just having some really bad luck. My agility goes down. Oh wait, that's the guardian. Where was that assassin? There we go. Don't forget, if you are a crafter, which I recommend you be, destroy these chests when you see them. It has always kill ads first. Yeah, but sometimes you can ignore ads with bosses and games. Sometimes. And when I first ran through this on my paladin, yeah. These are for crafters. They're basically recipes. Pretty standard stuff. Click it, get it. I don't have an armor crafter, so that does very little for me. That takes me back towards the beginning. Now, if there was something that you'd forgotten to do in here, these will bring you to various points. This will bring you to the last boss. This will bring you to the midway. So if you've forgotten to perform a quest in the middle, or you die and you want to just skip through stuff to get back, that's what these are for. But it doesn't matter to me. Out I go. Well, this loading screen is taking a remarkably long time. Oh, here we go. Now I'm going to run back to the main town. Actually, I think I'll go back to the big town because that's where the adventurer type shops are, so I'll set a path for this. And just zoom on through. There's another player over there. I guess I'll kill him. He killed my poor little scorpion. So, pretty much everything you see, all of the monsters as I ride through here, can be tamed. Here's some scorpions that turn into mounts of a different color. These are, I think, translated as eagle. Looks more like a vulture to me. He's a pet. The little icon right here tells you if it's a pet or a mount, which is nice. When I first played this on the Russian servers, they didn't give any indication whatsoever what something was, and so you'd tame it and you'd be like, yes, I got an awesome mount. Oh, wait, it's a pet. Here's a harvestable. Harvesting, crafting, it's very standard stuff in this game. But like I said, I do recommend that you get it. Once I get to the particular crafting NPC, I will show you why, the crafting changer. You can change your craft, so if you pick one and don't like it, you can switch over. Your XP when you do that is lost though. I know some games you can switch and it will save your level. In this one, you just lose it, so if you switch back at a later point, you have to earn everything back again. Let's see, I don't think there's one of those merchants in this particular little town, but I'll take a quick run. One thing that they do have, by the way, which I really appreciate, is sell junk, all gone. I mean, I still have the other drops I've picked up, but it's easy to tell what's trash loot. Craftsman Workshop. Here's where you craft. I'm a jeweler. I have yet to find any silver, which is what you need for jeweling, so I haven't done anything. I do have some cooking items. I don't think I can make anything just at the moment though. But it's very simple. This is why I call the crafting in this game very basic, is because it's just a matter of opening this up, clicking your recipe, clicking craft. Can't because I don't have all the materials. And then presto, pop, zam, you've got your item. Personal warehouse. Alright, I'm just going to destroy some of that gear I picked up. Doing this gets me some things to make better gear. I did figure this out. Last time I said that I didn't know what I was getting. It's just an RNG chance, so you don't always get something. This time I got the Dragon Balls, which you use in crafting to make some of the better gear. Save that for my paladin. You can see I'm just getting some junk item from the... Alright, now onward we go to a better town where I can show you why it is that I recommend everyone take crafting. And we can look for the honor and adventuring NPCs so I can show you some of the stuff that's on there. I'm presuming that most of it's going to remain the same. That's just a guess though. Looks like I have a quest here. Oh, I get the next level taming scrolls. Okay. You only need 3 characters, by the way, to be completely self-sufficient in terms of having all of the crafting professions. And I highly recommend that you do that because most of them have some really nice utility items that are very helpful. Like repair armor, items that repair your gear that will actually repair the max durability. And food, taming scrolls, that sort of thing. All very useful to have. And the only way to get all of them is through crafting, so unless you want to be spending a lot of your money paying other players on the market, then I recommend you be self-sufficient and make them for yourself. So I know there's a craft changer here, but the merchants that I'm talking about are up there. I'll just go here for a minute to show you the crafting because I know where it is and I know it's right here. Turn off the UI for the nice, lovely views. That is definitely one of the bonuses of this game. The visuals are exquisite, really. This actually reminds me of Crete. Probably a lot of Italy looks like this as well, but I've never been to Italy, so I can't speak from personal experience to that. But there are some old Venetian forts on Crete which very much look like this. Absolutely lovely. I have some quests to turn in. I'll just do that really quickly. Oh, I forgot my rookie buff. Okay. So, if you are a member of this faction, which is the Union faction, and it's my favorite faction, not just in terms of story, but also quest layout, and I find that the early tames are better quicker, but I'm partial to, you know, the Scorpion mount, which I wasn't able to find when I was playing on the other server. I mean the other faction. I'm sure it's around somewhere, but it wasn't very quickly to find. So here we have the craft selector. Now, I'll click on my change the primary craft so you can see all the three of them. I'm a jewel crafter, and as I level up my jeweling, you can see down here the benefits for it. It lets me, you know, obviously make the jeweling, but also it gives my character additional damage in combat. So jeweling is really good to level up on DPS classes, like the ranger, like the mage, like the assassin, the warlock whenever it comes out. Armor smithing allows you to make armor smithing, obviously, and it gives you defenses. So it's really good on, you know, if you're playing a guardian. This is a very nice crafting thing to have. And enchanting enhances your physical fitness. What that actually means is it ups your stamina, and that lets you do more abilities, dodge more, that sort of thing. So that's very nice to have as well. Also, if you like taming, it's good to have because you can make your own taming scrolls. After a certain point, you just can't get them anymore. They give you a whole ton to start out with the early tutorial quests, and I think you periodically get some as you move up in each tier. But for the most part, you're going to want to have access to this because pets and mounts are very key to have. You want those buffs, even if you don't want to do this as a main thing. If you're not, you know, oh, I'm just like Neith and want to collect everything, you're still going to want to at least have a couple of mounts and pets out. So those are the three main primary professions, and then there are two secondaries. Cooking, which I've got, makes standard cooking items. You know, you eat your steak dinner, and it gives you whatever buff that lasts for however long, depending on your skill. And then it gives you food items which shorten your downtime. And these, which allow you to use your mounts and your pets for longer. Alchemy gives you potions, standard potions, nothing particularly amazing here. They also give you bombs. I love bombs. This was actually really hard for me. Every time I make a character, I can't decide which one I want to do because bombs are just so awesome, but I like food. So, anyway, there you have it, the professions, the bonuses they give their characters. So it's not just a crafting making thing. So if you have the patience for it, it is kind of worthwhile to level some of them up. I'm going to turn in my quest since I'm here, and then I will show you the dungeon and adventuring stops in the main city. Oh, I went to the wrong area. I am really curious what they're going to do with housing. Oops. Ah, here we go. Although that's not for another year or more. Okay. And now to the main city. I do wish there was a way to turn off those banner pop-ups. Those things, they really bug me. I find them incredibly distracting. So. And once again, I'll turn that off so you can look at the lovely visuals. For the most part, flying mounts are limited to these particular path I mean, this is basically fast travel, right? There are a couple rare ones you can get in the game. If you're the head of a guild that owns a city, for example, you get a flying dragon mount. Ashes of Creation is doing something very similar to that. Which is both cool and kind of frustrating. I mean, I want a flying dragon too. But I'm never going to lead a guild, let alone a guild that will be organized and capable of possessing a contested power. So this is the honor points vendor, which is the items you get, or the currency you get from PvP. These are for crafting. I'm not sure what most of these are. Oh, these are the enchanting items you can put on some gear. More crafting stuff. I don't have any idea what that is, but here are the dungeon points. A lot fewer things here. You can see I've got some of them from running that dungeon. I think these increase the chance of your crafting awesome items. And this gives you the chance to get some of the rare stuff to make the rare legendary crafting items. Pondering just ditching some of this stuff, but somewhere there is, I believe, another vendor. Because when you do these kill quests, you get adventuring. Oh, no, it's the same. Dungeon points. These things here, you can get them. You disassemble them at the synthesis machine where I was destroying my gear earlier for the crafting goods, and they have a chance to give you tons of the Dragon Balls when you disassemble from these. Disassemble. So kill enough of the monsters and some of them gives you stuff. I'm sure some of the higher level things give you more interesting things. The higher level monsters. But that's it. Anyone want to see more of this the city? Let me know. I know there's a bit of a lag, so you may not be able to answer right away. I'll look to see where my quests go to show you some more of the game rather than that dungeon that I just ran. Oh, I have a whole bunch of turn-ins, I think. But I'll move on to show off more, so we'll head down here. I don't mind going back, so whenever this catches up with you guys, feel free to let me know if you want to see more. I should have shown you some of the inside buildings in this city because they are amazing. Or that part. I'm a great fan of desert zones in games, but that may stand to reason because I'm a great big fan of deserts in real life as well. And here we are at this little outpost. Get my UI back. I'm actually leveling very slowly in this game because I like to do all the stuff. If you want to level very quickly, what you need to do is simply stick with the main storyline quests. And you can tell that based on the color of the quest. See, this one here is blue. That means it's the main storyline. The orange ones are side quests. If I were to stop doing them, I would be much further along. But no matter how many times I tell myself, okay, this character is just gonna level quickly, I always end up doing all the side quests anyway, because that's just the kind of person I am. Even though I will tell you I hate quests. I guess I'm not very consistent. I'm quickly skipping through this stuff, by the way, because a lot of it just with the fan translating, the unofficial translator doesn't make all that much sense anyway. So it can be very difficult to figure out. I can also, as you see when I right click, I can auto run or just create a path and run there. I tend to run on my own as opposed to the auto run because the auto run takes weird paths, gets you stuck in geometry, is very slow, that sort of thing. So unless I'm up getting a drink or something, it is generally preferable to run myself. Oh, I forgot to actually grab it. There you have harvesting. Very simple. So I'll run through the quest here. The snake is a pet. I could tame him if I wanted. He's very cute. You know, I guess I will tame. Oh wait, do I have taming scrolls of this level? Let me see. I think I just got some. I think, yeah, here we go. So with this one I can tame Little Snake. I'll do it just so that, whoops, I messed that one up. Just so that those of you who are here for the first time can see the taming. It does suck if you're squishy because they're biting you, attacking you, shooting you, stabbing you, however they do attack while you're trying to tame them. He's a mount if I were to tame him. In the Russian version, I had a character who rode around on a goat, and that was really funny because she was one of the cat races, and so I was this big cat person riding around on a goat, but the goat was too small. Her feet literally dragged around on the ground as she rode. It entertained me so much, I just kept doing it. Oh, I think I made him angry. Oh, no, I didn't. Looks like you cannot tame those large buffaloes. How odd. You can see I've got one of the grind quests up on these guys. That's what that icon is for. I'm just going to skip that though, because it's not so interesting to watch me just killing a million things at the same time. These guys are cool too. You can tame them as a pet. What's attacking me? Where to go next? The Angry Gnoll Tank. Okay. So one thing you can see here as I'm running around using my pets and my mounts, the red bar here indicates their fatigue or their stamina, and that determines how long I can keep them out. The fatigue item that I was showing you with the cooking is what refills that bar. If you don't have any of those fatigue items, then once you hit the end of the fatigue bar, you're out of mount, although obviously, I mean, you can tame a bazillion of them. I've never actually hit a limit, although I don't tend to keep tons and tons around because I smash them together. Actually, while I'm here, no, I won't bother for now. I'll just go in. In some ways, the thief is pretty good to use, the assassin, because he can just sneak past. I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing in this area. What am I supposed to be doing? Destroy the Keeper of the Fire. Okay. If you want me to switch over to another class or show you character generation, let me know. I will be happy to do so. If not, I'm just going to kind of continue along. Doing whatever as I run through and it occurs to me to talk about. If I were smart, I'd be snaring them. Oh, you can't tame these guys anymore? On the Russian version, these cool guys with the gold headdresses that I just killed, you could tame them and make a really cool looking sort of gnoll in an Egyptian headdress kind of thing pet. But it looks like you can't tame these gnolls. Oh, I got what I came for. I should go back. Let's see. I'll do some of these things. Alternatively, I could try to run straight for the next dungeon. Whoops. Probably shouldn't be doing that while in the middle of a camp. Looks like I'm about to show you death. I got a little distracted there. Welcome to death. Some of you have seen this before, some of you have not. This is what it looks like when you die. You go into this sort of death zone, and you can either resurrect immediately with this guy here, but then you'll get a death penalty. or you can go and find your corpse and do essentially a corpse run. Oh, my corpse is all the way back there. You know what? I'm just gonna res here. I've never used these guys before, so I'll check out what the death penalty is. That would, I guess, be kind of good to know. Let's see, death penalty. My movement speed is down by 25% during an attack, and it's down by 25% normally for a minute. Oh, that's not bad at all. I mean, so I move a little bit slower, but big deal. My inventory is full. I think that's for a quest, so I'll just trash something. We'll trash this. Oh, I'll go grab this thing up here. What am I targeted on? Oh, that thing. So, I was looking for the next dungeon, which I think at 20 I'm capable of going into. I'm not, it's 22. Oh wait, I'm 21 now, so I'm actually not that far away. I may be able to go in it tonight before heading out, so we'll see. Okay, this is annoying. Never mind that this isn't so bad. This feels like much more than a 25% movement speed decrease. Wow. Riding through the desert on a horse with no speed. I'll be glad when this debuff is gone. Get rid of all this crap. Oh, looks like I lost my new buff too. I'll put that back on. This is a starter buff, basically, and it increases your dungeon points, it increases your gold, it increases movement speed a little bit. So it's just good to start. I don't know if we're going to get this in the North American version. It may just be a catch-up. So, like many other things, we'll obviously have to see come the 11th. I will be keeping an eye on that, so if you guys don't feel like keeping an eye on all that for yourselves, you can keep an eye on my my Patreon page or watch my stream again or whatever, because once that's announced I will be sharing that information on. We are mighty, kill some gnolls. If I'd known this was a cutscene, I wouldn't have clicked on it, but... I will try to get through this very quickly. You know, I think for the large part I will skip the trash loot, so we will just run through this little instanced area as quickly as possible and try to move on. Show off as much of this game as I can for those of you who are wondering if it's something you are interested in picking up. Looks like he's a bit of a tough guy. Damn, I wished him. I may need to kill him anyway for this quest, we'll find out. Apparently not. Alright. So, since I was talking about progressing more quickly just doing the main storyline quests, I'll just do that for now. That way I'll progress through as much of this territory as I can. And you can see it. Maybe I'll get to the fairies. I actually think that dungeon may be in the fairy area. The next one. Away we go. Let's get rid of the UI and show off a lot of the stuff as we run. I'm actually really disappointed that it doesn't seem like you can tame the gnolls anymore. I know you could still tame the ghosts and the zombies and the skeletons because I was taming some of them earlier. Oh, this might be silver. Hold on a minute while I check that. Nope, it's still iron. So the gazelles are pets. Remember I mentioned earlier that, you know, until they added this notification up here, you would often tame something thinking it was a mount and discovering it would be a pet and vice versa. This is one of those things. I would have assumed the gazelle would be a mount. But no, it's just a pet. Back off. Harvestables glow. Easy to spot. I guess I'll grab it. I'm not quite sure what oats are for, but my assumption is cooking. There we go. Actually, eagles, which look like vultures to me, more pets. Is this silver? This is silver. Maybe I'll actually earn enough find enough to make some jewelry. More silver. We are in the land of silver. What's this little guy? I lost my... Oh, here we go. Oh, they're pets. Too bad. That would have been a cool mount. Once again, I'll ignore all these quests. Now, for the most part, questing in this game is pretty standard stuff. Classic MMO. Kill these, go get this and bring it back. There are some puzzle quests. You know, solve who killed the one guy, figure out who the traitor is, that sort of thing. But for the most part, it's very, very classic MMO type. Porcupine. These little guys are so cute. Hippos are mounts. Somewhere around here are crocodiles you can ride too. Can't tame him. I think I'm going in the wrong direction. Yeah, the best way to get to the main quest is up this way, so I will turn around. And go up here. Not reading through my quest text leaves me sort of a little bit of a disadvantage. Oh, we'll get some more silver. Now, so far I haven't seen any of those turban things. They're these little... I mean, they look a little bit like nodes on the ground. It's really kind of strange. You're all being kind of quiet today. I've already been through most of the basic stuff. I mean, I guess I have pretty much, but I'm used to joking comments from y'all. Kill my way through. Now, what am I after? Looks like that clicky thing. I think I'm getting myself into a bit of trouble with these fast repops. I'm a bit over-leveled, so it's coming off as a lot easier than it generally is. Although I'm not as over-leveled in this area as I was when I first started out the stream. I would say it's a mix in terms of challenging or easy. It depends on which mobs you want to fight. Some mobs are better matchups against certain classes. As a ranger, for example, if I can snare it, it has no ranged attacks. I mean, it will just die right away. If I get mobbed, however, by multiple monsters, I'm not going to do so well. The paladin is kind of a tanky healer. Okay, not kind of. The paladin is a tanky healer, which is a part of why I'm not playing it, even though I like healers generally. So that does pretty well against most things, as long as you keep your healing up. But the challenge level really is determined by what it is that you're fighting. Does that answer? Yeah, okay. I'm glad to help, so. Right now, I'm just doing the story quest because what I'm trying to do is, I know there are a lot of people trying to decide whether to buy this game when it comes out. So what I'm trying to do is just show off a lot, as much of it as I possibly can, to help people make the decision. Is this a game that they would have fun with? So I'm not necessarily playing it in a way that I would play it if I were actually just playing it. What I tend to do is find mobs I like to fight and then just sit and grind on them. And tame. Lots and lots of tames. I just can't really express enough how fun it is to be able to just run through the world and tame a million things. It's a different game entirely, which I often feel funny about mentioning when streaming one game, but I know that Ashes of Creation intends to have a lot of taming and even breeding. You'll be able to breed things in Ashes of Creation. I can't wait to see how that game is going to turn out. Hopefully better than the breeding in Black Desert. That was kind of boring. Stone. Stone is needed for enchanting. And this is the first time... Oh, looks like I finished a daily quest. So some of the crafting professions you can't actually level without buying materials on the auction house or getting them from higher level buddies right away, as you could tell by how excited I was to find silver. Yes, visually it reminds me a lot of Black Desert, and you're welcome. I actually like this visually more than Black Desert. I know a lot of people think Black Desert looks more pretty, but I don't quite know how to describe what it is about Black Desert. Maybe it's the bloom or something. It's got this weird visual kind of light quality. It looks great, don't get me wrong, but of the two, I prefer the way this game looks. Now, which way am I going? I'm going this way. I remember to snare that time. Amazing how much better it goes. Also, from what I recall of the Russian version, so take this as sort of non-conclusive as it may be, I think they've added a lot of catch-up mechanics here, because this is definitely going much more quickly than it went when I originally played. And obviously the Japanese game is older. It's been out for longer. I can't remember when the Japanese servers opened. This circling buff I've got is definitely speeding up my progression, so oh, I'm gonna die. Oh, almost made it out. Alright, we are not going to get that movement speed buff, debuff. Let's go back and get to my corpse. At least the monsters don't attack you when you're dead. So it's not like a corpse run in, say, Classic EQ, where now you have less XP, so you might be de-leveled, and you have no gear, and now you have to run through all the things that killed you. No, no. It's actually fun to explore this way. I know I've mentioned that a couple of times. You don't get, obviously, the full visual appeal because it's sort of grayed out and kind of wobbly, but if you're lost trying to find something, you could just kill yourself and go look for it. And then go up, and when you're alive again, get whatever it is that you're after. Let's just go in here. Oh, since it's a quest instance, it looks like oh, my stamina's down, so I'm thank you, impatient player. There we go. This looks like it should be something, but it's not. Also, this is just occurring to me, there are elite monsters. So, if you want to go hunt something more challenging, they do exist. Sorry for that little belayed moment. There are lists you can find online. So you can get together with your buddies in a group, or if you want a super solo challenge, go out and hunt the elite monsters. I'll let you know if I see any. I'm not sure I could take them on the Ranger because I'm just not as good on DPS classes as I am on healing classes. Oh look, my mount ran out. I'll go on to my horse. I know that's a big thing once you get to end level is end game is hunting the elite monsters. I'm pretty sure there are more as you get higher level. In fact, I'm not pretty sure, I'm positive. I don't, off the top of my head, happen to recall where they are, or I would actually write out and show you one. Still no sign of that weird turban thing, which is too bad, because I'd really like to show that to you guys. Oh, 21. I thought that I leveled earlier. Interesting. That's kind of annoying. Well, let's see where I have to go. Down to the ferries. So we can get some nice glimpses of the little ferries. Oh, here's one of the pets he's got. You can see some of the interesting pets. That chick in the corset is a pet. Or I guess demon girl. And somewhere around here there are crocodiles you can ride. If I could find them, I would show you one of them because they're actually pretty damn cool. The hippos obviously are mounts as well. Some of my favorite pets are up here. There's a little scorpion pet. If you want, by the way, the more I think about what you're saying there, Stars, this is a closer to tab targeting classic type MMO than Black Desert. Black Desert is all action combo based. This is tab onto your monster and hit your buttons to hit your attacks. Although, again, you know, based on what they've said for the changes they've made in the North American version, I don't know what that's going to be. Aren't these guys cute? They're just so adorable. I don't think it will be too different because that just seems like a strange thing to do. Obviously it wouldn't be tested or anything very well, but they've made such a big deal out of it that there's just no way to know. That's one of the things they've said is the reason we haven't brought this west yet is we've had a lot of complaints about the combat, that it's just not very interesting, so we're trying to make it more interesting. So that sort of implies they are trying to change it drastically, but I don't know. Little cute meerkats. Alright. If I can find a merchant, here we go. I'll empty some of my inventory and we can go look at the ferries. The fairies are tameable. I'll tame one. So, oops, that's not what I meant to do. You know, I keep intending to send some of this stuff to my alt. I ought to do that just to empty my inventory out, so or never mind, I can't remember my alt's names. I'll just continue on with my limited inventory space. There are cash ups items you can buy to increase your inventory. You can buy those from other players in this version. Oh, here are the little fairies. Although this one doesn't have wings. I guess I'm still in the instant stone where I don't really have the little fairies. So there are actually proper little fairies somewhere. Come on, Chico. Let's go talk to the fairy queen. What are you doing? Oh, there he goes. And here we are at the Fairy Queen. So I'm going to give you guys a little side note here. It has absolutely nothing to do with gaming, but I just bought a larger harp. I play the harp, and the fact that this little NPC was carrying it reminded me of it. It just kills me when I see harps in games like her, the harp she's got there, and you know, you often hear bards in fantasy stories playing their harps. It just absolutely kills me because that is not at all that is not at all a proper harp. Like, if you had a harp of that size, you would not be able to play anything on it at all. I have a 19 string harp. Whoops. Okay. I guess attacking them is not what I want to do. Let me figure out what it is that I do want to do. I want to go over here. So, let's go up and count the strings on the Fairy Queen's harp. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 strings harp. So it's very small. Mine is a 19 strings. And the reason I just bought a larger one for my birthday, I bought a 34 string harp, is because I couldn't play. The 19 strings harp is not large enough to play most harp songs, or most songs at all. So I die when I see these little little fantasy harps. It just, I can't get over it. There's no conceivable way a bard storyteller would be able to actually entertain an audience on a harp of the size that you would have carrying around with you like that. And thus ends my little non-MMO harp tangent. I wish there was a bridge, but it's nice that you can swim. I don't know that there's much underwater content, but it is nice that you're not, you know, oh look, I just hit a river. I can't go any more until I trace the river to its origin point. More big snakes. Starting to see some other players as I get a little bit deeper into the game. You know, a pangolin mount would be cool. But they're pets. We'll see if I can get into this dungeon. This dungeon actually looks much cooler than the other one. It's a step up in difficulty as well. I suspect if I can get in for you guys, you're going to witness me dying quite a bit because I won't be geared for it and I won't be over leveled like I was earlier in this evening on the previous dungeon. Now what am I doing? I've got to level before I can progress further. Okay. Oh, I lost my rookie buff again. I should put that back on. So I thought that this was my XP down here. Yes, it is. But it hasn't been moving. Really? Which is kind of weird. I'll go back and get that quest I passed up and see about just trying to get some levels in. So we can see the second dungeon. I wish I had some people to group with. Grouping is much more fun, and I'm pretty sure that for most people the grouping is more interesting than watching me just solo run my way through, but we do what we can. I talked to the blacksmith accidentally. Go back this way and do something. Find flowers. Okay, so it's just look for clickies. But I'll kill a whole bunch of things. Ah, they're the clickies. just for the XP. Oh, there's a hunt quest. Alright, well, I'll slaughter some of these guys. How many flowers do I need? We'll find out. First I'll put the monster kills. What are these monsters? They are black moss hunters. So here. Get rid of some of this stuff. You would think that they would make this easier to determine. Not what I want. Nothing there. How bizarre. Sleeping scales. Not here. Ah, here we go. Okay. And black moss. Looks like I'm getting close to my level, so hopefully that won't be too much longer. Oh, I've got all the flowers I need. I will make my way to the turn-in, and we shall see if that will give me the level to go into the next dungeon. If I were actually being smart and playing properly, I do have a defensive move on the ranger. I just have a hard time thinking like a DPS class, so... While watching me, you are watching an inept ranger. Just so you know. My preferred role in groups is... I say I like to be a healer, and I do, but that's mainly because I actually am a crowd controller, and games these days have been getting rid of crowd control, so my preferred role doesn't really exist all that much anymore. And it's been a while since I've seen a game with a real crowd control class. Like the Enchanter in Classic EQ, for any of you guys who've played EQ. 91%. So this will either level me or get me close enough that I'm within spitting distance. So I will definitely be able to get into that dungeon, which is cool. I've never been in there as a ranger, so we shall see if I can survive. I may not even be able to show you much. I may die too often. Wouldn't that be a peach? I'll repair my gear. Alright, let's see. What is my XP at? Damn it. 97%. Okay. Almost there. I will go back to the dungeon entrance. That is not the dungeon entrance. Actually, wasn't my quest period up here? Now that I'm thinking about it, I think the next quest step was up there, so I'll run back over here, kill some monsters, see if I can move on with that fairy chick over there, and then we'll head in. And there we go. Actually, yeah, I should have opened this up long ago. There we go. What do we have here? More taming scrolls. Oh, they give you some of those anti-PvP things. No extra gear, but some interesting green food that has who knows what, because it doesn't translate well. But here we go. Looks like kill them. I'm just going to do this really quickly to see if I can get the story going for the next dungeon. If it takes too long, I'll just go in directly. Looks like I'm supposed to pick those things up. 8 of those, so destroy a few more. Four left to go. Only 2 more of those drops left, and then hopefully in we can go. And we'll see how well I can survive. Get your popcorn ready because I'm anticipating not surviving very far. Alright. Back to the fairy chick. And here we go. So earlier I mentioned at the first dungeon that there was the vendor who appears on your first story through in the instance. I'm presuming that this will be the same thing because she's got the same title. If this works the same as the other dungeon, she will cease to be present once I go through and do the storyline. So if there's anything that you want to buy gear-wise, do it the first time you hint the dungeon. Now hopefully you won't need to. Hopefully you've had buddies, you've gone through the previous dungeon and gotten all your gear, and you're not running through solo like me with super bad luck. While I'm here, I think I'll buy the upgrades just to not be totally squishy. I think I'll keep that one. I will get the boots though. And that's the Guardian. So I should be okay with the potions I've got. If I'm not, then it is too difficult for me and it won't matter how many potions I have. Welcome to the second dungeon in the game. Which I think is infinitely more beautiful than the first one. grab his quest. When I first came in here, I took 1,000 screenshots because it just looks so awesome. Let me figure out where am I going. Oh, look like down that, guess down that stairs is the right way. Oops. I can't. So as you can see, this is a wee bit more challenging. Do I have a quest for that? I don't think so, but I'm gonna grab it anyway. I seem to recall those being important, these things. For something. It's been so long since I've been through here, I don't quite remember what those are for, but I know that they do something. Most of these dungeons have, you know, alternate pathways that you can open up to allow you to skip through quickly if you want, or kill lots of things if you want. Okay. This is going to be tricky here. I'm going to lay out some traps. Well, I did that one by the skin of my teeth. I wonder if I have any. I'm going to try this Bless Cheer Saffron. Let's see what it does. Your guess is as good as mine on that one. Unofficial fan translations being what they are. That said, I do appreciate that this was done. I'm not sure that I could play this at all if it weren't for that. Now, those things that I'm picking up, I'm pretty sure they're for this thing, so I'll go in through here and take a peek at it and see what... Oh, I picked up this little thing. They blow up. Don't let them get too close to you. Alright, let's see what we got here. Well, I do not at all recall what that is for. Oh, I got a buff. Alright, well that's a buff. Attack speed and movement speed increases. So that being said, I'll just move on ahead. Ooh. He's even got a blue bow. Level 23. Well, I have a quest up in this direction, so... If you start to hear crashes and strange sounds in the background, by the way, that's just my cat. He's starting to get a little bit antsy. Alright, here we have a little boss. So we'll see if I can take him or not. Looks like I will probably be able to unless he pulls out a surprise. And he's got some ads. I recall him being something of a problem on my paladin, but I don't quite remember why that is. It might be because his disappearing axe interrupted my combos. Yep, there goes my cat. Oh, I'm dead. Just jump down and run back to the little boss there. I'm going to have to start gouching at my cat in a minute, just just to warn you. And we shall try this again. That's what it is. He disappears and so interrupts the combos and the crit things. And insta-killed me again. What is it that he's doing there? So, while I'm doing this, the different classes have different defensive abilities. This one's the Rangers. Or, there we go, the jump backwards. Cut it out, little guy, come on. The Paladin has a damage shield, or not a damage shield, a ward that heals the Paladin a little bit. I don't remember what the Assassin has. The Mage has this sort of teleport. I think the Mage forward blinks while the Ranger does the backward like this. And I'm not a tank person, so I don't have any idea what the Guardian's special defensive ability is. That operates off this thing here. You can see the energy in the middle. Using that governs how often you can use it. Let's try to get through this time. Third time's the charm, right? So close. Ah, did it. And I even get an upgrade for me that I can't use for another level. Well, it's something, right? What can I delete to make some room? I'll just get rid of the corn, since I have a quest. Normally I'm a bit more talkative, so I have to apologize for my kind of flagging energy. I've been dealing with some serious health issues, so I'm starting to wind down and will probably have to think about heading out soon. So if you have any last minute questions or comments, now is the time to kind of start getting them in. If there's anything that I have forgotten to talk about or whatever, let me know. Thanks for stopping in, everyone. Hopefully hopefully you've been enjoying Bless. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'm really curious to see all the changes that they've made. I'm kind of excited to see they're doing it themselves. I know I've personally commented on this to some of you, but one of the things that slows down development of Eastern MMOs when they come west is just the communication between the actual dev team of the MMO and the middlemen who produce them in the west. As the middlemen, I'm trying to think of a better word to call them than the middlemen, but Aria, Cacao for Black Desert, Nexon. No, I guess Nexon does their own games. The guys who basically handle the Western versions of the games, as they communicate back and forth and decide I want to change X thing for the Western audience, there has to be a communication between them and the Eastern designers, and that's what slows things down. So if this does well on the Steam version, then that process, that entire communication process, is going to just not exist. So I'm really hoping that this does well. I know there are other producers and game developers who do their own games, but for many of them they find a Western publisher. And I feel like if this one does well, then we'll see more people doing it themselves, because Steam does actually allow quite a big audience appeal for people, right? I know a lot of people who won't buy any games that aren't on Steam. Anyway, I lost a little bit track of what I was saying. Sorry about that. Let's see if I can get through this encounter. There's a sub-boss in one of these directions, I think in this room here, but I'm just kind of gonna move forward. Yes, I hear you, little Sinbad. I'm gonna try to get through here before I completely peter out. And it looks like I failed. So I may need to call this before I get to the final boss. But I'll give it another try. Oh, hello! Nice to see you back there. Or back here. Yes, Sinbad is making his usual noises again. He doesn't like it when I spend too long putting my attention on something that's not him. Well, I guess I'll keep that for now. Oh, I'll put my Ricky buff back on. Yeah. I think my cats take the place of children. I'm gonna go around him, I think. From what I recall, this guy, his loot reward was just not worth the effort it took to kill him. Although, it's funny, it's been so long since I've been in this dungeon. I think you may need to kill him to do something. Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy. I'm probably gonna have to come back here. I know I'm gonna have to come back here. And I'm about to die again. Oh, or not. I did it. Oh. Mutual kill. So, for those of you who are wondering about the classes, this game, when it launches sometime this month in North America, will be launching with the Guardian, which is a tank, the Paladin, which is the healer, the Ranger, which is what I'm playing, it's the ranged DPS, single target for the most part, the Wizard, which is range DPS AoE. I feel like there's 5 that it's launching with. And I'm completely blanking on the final one. The Assassin is not going to be at launch. The Mystic, which is the sort of casty healy class, is not going to be at launch. The Warlock, which is another odd kind of class, is not going to be here at launch. So maybe there's only 4. The video is about choppy because I'm on a VPN playing a Japanese server game. So it's lagging as it goes through the VPN and then the game itself. I'll just ignore that. I don't know that I'm going to make it through this encounter. In fact, now I'm pretty positive I'm not, but I will give it my best shot. the merchant. You know, there are actually MMO. Whoops. Yeah. All right. I'm not gonna make it through that encounter. I can tell you all that much already. And due to my health, I am starting to run down. So I should probably cut it out here for the evening. Thank you guys for showing up. It's been fun. I hope that you have enjoyed this run through of Bless. Let me know, on my Patreon. You can comment on any of the articles I've got up there, which anyone can view. If you want to see this again next week, or you'd rather see a different game, you can comment here. My YouTube channel, there's a link down below. You can comment there, let me know. I really do like to let people know about games that they might be curious about. So any sort of, hey, I'd like to see this game, if you could play it and show it to me, I'm perfectly happy to do that. And, would like to hear from you all. So thanks again for showing up. Yes, it was nice to see you too again, Scott. Nice to see, all of you others who I haven't seen before. Thanks very much, and have a great evening. I will see you all next week if you decide to stop on back.